Hey guys, welcome back. Lately I've been on a major nostalgia trip. I've been diving into the Frutiger Arrow side of YouTube, and it's been great. For those who don't know, Frutiger Arrow is a design aesthetic that features a connection between nature and technology, hope and optimism, and a heavy use of gloss and transparency. Some examples include early Windows operating systems, your local mall if it was built in like 2003, and every single inch of the Nintendo Wii. Frutiger Arrow was popular in the 2000s when I was a kid. It's super familiar and comforting to me, so I decided to make a Frutiger Arrow inspired game. When I started thinking about the game, I wanted it to feel like it came straight out of 2007 to go with that Frutiger Arrow aesthetic. And what's more 2007 than Flash games? For the design of this game, I took inspiration from two old classics, The World's Hardest Game and Fancy Pants. I thought I could combine them together and make a short, tough-to-beat platformer. I jumped into Construct 3 and got to work. I immediately added a tile map to use for the platforms so that level design would be quicker later on. Next, I plopped in a sprite to be my player controller, and I just left him as a red square to start with. I added platformer controls and fiddled around with them to get them just right. I wanted them to be fast and snappy so the player would feel good to control. I created a starting point and a goal to reach in each level. I added a little bubble that moves back and forth and sends the player back to the start if they run into it. Then I immediately experienced a major software crash and I hadn't saved yet, so I got to do it all over again. I redid everything super fast and made sure to save right away. Next, I started working on the character art. This is where I started tossing in that Frutiger stuff I was talking about. I made the character look like a little chat icon from an old school messaging platform, and I made him round and glossy and cute. He doesn't have any hands, only a head, body, and feet. I think I'll name him Guberto. Next, I made a couple of tile sets for the platforms. One was solid white, and the other one was just a white outline. I layered the two tile sets with a sprite in between to create a glossy effect, like old Windows Vista windows, I guess. I also set it up so that one tile map would set itself to match the other, so I'd only have to paint in the tiles for one of the tile maps. I drew some art for the start point and the goal and added some particle effects. Next, I started adding some backgrounds. I wanted the backgrounds to feel like old Windows XP desktop backgrounds, so I photoshopped this image to get a nice Frutiger Arrow feel. It has a blue sky and green hills, and I tossed in a few skyscrapers to add in the futuristic effect. As things were coming together, I started thinking about the game's music. I did some research and found this great video that explained how to make some Frutiger Arrow music. Frutiger Arrow music is often very spacey and it has a strong D&B beat, and I also found out D&B just stands for drums and bass, which, who knew? I opened GarageBand and came up with a track for the background music for the game. I added some airy suspended chords and some sweeping atmospheric sounds. Then I had to do some research to figure out how to make a good sounding D&B drum beat. Finally, I messed around with stuff until I added an arpeggiating melody. I added the music to the game and decided to finish some more art. For the obstacles, I made some tropical fish trapped in bubbles. Man, I love these guys, they look so cute. I made it so the fish flash red when you hit them. I also added in some glossy sound effects for the player jump sound and an error sound for when you hit the fish. I threw together a start screen with a big start button like the old Windows XP button, and added a screen transition. I also added a title, Don't Bother the Fish, and then made it look like it was made in Microsoft Word. Let's take a break real quick and let me tell you what's been going on in my life. I've recently gotten a second job at a warehouse. It's pretty fun, I guess. My wife and I had our first Christmas together, and I got some great books from her about game design, arcade history, and a book on how to build an arcade machine. That is really cool. She also gave me a clarinet, which I am still learning to play. Now that it's the new year, we've started a new diet since one of our goals this year is health. I'm trying to lose 50 pounds this year, so like and subscribe to follow my progress. Now back to the video. It was time to start the level design, so I made a template level and got to work building out levels. I painted in platforms on my tile map and fiddled around with the bubblefish movement. We have Upsy and Downsy Clownfish Boy, Lefty and Righty Bluefish Boy, and Golden Guppy Orbit Boy. The game is very short with only 6 levels, but I made them pretty difficult to beat, harkening back to those old Flash games that were so hard, like The World's Hardest Game or QWOP. Stupid QWOP. I hate QWOP so much. It is so hard, and I always fall on the track, and it's just the worst. But I still love you, Bennett Foddy, that's okay. Even with so few levels, I tried to add some variety to the gameplay, so some of the levels are pretty different. The last level has a boss fish boy, but I'm not going to tell you what he does, you'll have to find out all for yourself. After finishing up the level design, I put together a few more backgrounds so each level has its own. We have a beach, skyscrapers, another beach, a field, a canyon, a chimp. Chimp! Get out of here, you stupid chimp! Don't come back! With a little more polish, I was finished with the game. It was a short project, but I had a ton of fun working on it. The gameplay feels very reminiscent of those old Flash games, and the style feels very Frutiger Arrow to me, with all of that gloss and nature, and fishes and bubbles and such. Thanks guys for watching this video. I want to get another video out soon, and I've been working on a bigger project that has been pretty exciting and might be in my next video. Or I could do something else. Comment below if you have an idea for a video. Thanks for watching.